How you doing today, sir?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Things up.
Nice to have a seat there.
Nice to see you. I'm
Nice to see you.
Satchel Ives. I work with Bavarian Motor Works, otherwise commonly known as BMW, in the motorsports division. And I have just a little, I prepared that for you,
Thank you.
just so that we can both follow along while I go through the spec sheets and so forth. But before I start, I wanted to comment on the beautiful lineup of cars that you had out there. That 360 Modena is quite the piece of work. But you know, today we're here to talk about a kind of different class, a little bit underneath that, but you know, still up there. And I just wanted to show you this quick video before we started.
Okay.
Just a little sneak preview of the potential it has for the
You just
track.
listen to this, and it's all you need.
So just a little idea of what you can do on the track. So we can move on to the spec sheet if you'd like to open it up and check out the first page. I have prepared a specification sheet for each of the three models that I'm going to be showcasing today. We do have three models available, so a wider variety of choice for you know, vehicle in terms of vehicle preference. There's the E90, which is the sedan. There's the E92, which is the two-door coupe, and then there's the E93, which is the cabriolet convertible. This is great because you get three different trim styles, which appeals to a wider market of people, those who like two doors, four doors, or cabriolets, because you know, some people don't have a preference in terms of what they would like over what over some of the other models. In terms of power, if you take a look at the spec sheet, it's got some serious numbers on there. 420 horsepower is how much the engine can produce, but the real number there is 414, which is the brake horsepower that goes to the wheels, which is what gets the car up and going. And the BMW has 414 brake horsepower, 295 foot-pounds of torque, and this allows it to do quite spectacular things while going around the track, or even just in a day-to-day, you know, a little bit of a buzz on the highway. They have this will help you if after your purchase, when showcasing to customers, you know, they want something that's track ready, they want something that's got the power, they want the dollar to horsepower ratio the best that they can find. And this is one of those vehicles in the top 10 of the dollar to horsepower ratio. I know you guys have the Audi R8, which has a very similar number of horses, but you know, an extra 30 grand to tie up an inventory for you. And then we can move on to the E93. I just wanted to get you through to see all the pictures, you know, get a good idea of what you're getting your hands on. The nice thing about these vehicles, like I've said, is that they are they're very high performance, but you don't have to tie up a ridiculous amount of money in inventory for them. They cost $65,000 to around $80,000. Which compared to, for example, the 360 Modena, which is going to cost you upwards of like $250,000, $300,000, which is going to put quite a dent in your capital. How do you feel about what we've discussed so far?
So far, so good. Sounds interesting.
All right, and then if you'd like to move on to the next page, which is the marketing plan, I just wanted to outline that the vehicle is appropriate for both the luxury rentals that you do as well as the vehicle track days, because like I've said, it is track ready. It does have those required specifications to get you up to speed and down to speed while going around a track and remaining safe. The specification, we're going to give a little bit of specific training to your frontline employees, so that they have a good understanding of the specifications. Provide them with the spec sheets so that when customers come in and they're curious about what it can do, they know and they can immediately go to, here, these are the numbers I have, this is what it can do. I have a testimonial that I've driven the car and I can tell you it's going to get you going.
Yeah, and that is important, because especially with this kind of market, I mean, if they don't know what they're talking about, they're going to move on.
Oh, exactly.
So,
and the enthusiast culture that BMW has, I think will bring a good amount of new customers to your company, because currently you don't have any BMWs in your lineup. And I'm not sure if you know this, but BMW has a lot of online forums and tuners and people who love the Motorsports Edition cars. The problem is that not everyone can necessarily afford to own one. So for you, this is beautiful, because it gives you an opportunity to showcase the product they want at a reasonable price, so that they can rent it and or track it and experience the vehicle for themselves, so that they know what's going on, and so that they can feel it out for themselves. And in terms of what we are going to provide to you after the purchase is made, we have about, I believe, if you go to the purchase order, the delivery date is we are available to deliver it within 10 days. So we can have this delivered to you by April 10th. And the delivery cost we are absorbing, so that you won't have to pay it.
Okay.
And this comes with some promotional material. You're going to get mugs, keychains, t-shirts, stickers, kind of promotional material that you can choose to, give away to each person who, purchases a rental or a track day, or you could sell it as merchandise, which we're totally fine with you doing. Most companies do that. And so what I've suggested for the purchase order on here is that you purchase one of each of the spec cars. So one E90 sedan, one E92 coupe, and one E93 cabrio, so that you can reach that wide range of trim styles and people who are attracted to the different vehicles. And what I could do here is actually give you a bulk discount of 7.5% on each vehicle, because we're trying to get rid of this inventory, and save you about $10,000-$15,000. The total cost here is $196,000, give or take, and then HSTs on top of that, which is roughly $30,000.
Okay.
Do you have any input or concerns with what I've said so far? Any questions, comments?
So we're looking at, just to clarify, we're looking at the purchase of 3 cars, the 3 different trim lines.
Yes.
And then receiving 7.5% discount, assuming buying all 3 cars.
Yes.
Okay. And you can get me all 3 cars
by the 10th.
By the 10th.
Okay. Also, alternatively, if you don't have the capital for that, I have prepared purchase orders for each of the vehicles individually. If you would like to do that, although you don't get the same discount, it's only 3.5%. So you're not making the same. You're not getting the same amount of savings. And also, I don't believe that you'd be getting the same amount of power from this purchase. Being able to reach the maximum number of people possible. So for the E90, the price comes out to $72,000. with change.
Mm-hmm.
For the E92, it comes to 74.3 with change,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Cabrio is the one that's got the higher price, the 88.7, because of the convertible roof,
Mm-hmm.
and that does cost a little bit additional because of the required mechanics.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
now,
convertibles are always expensive.
yeah, and just a comment on that is that the nice thing about the Cabrio is that it is a hard top,
Mm-hmm.
so you will be able to you won't have to deal with the soft top issues of molding and things like that, because I have experienced that in the past
Mm-hmm.
with a canvas roof
Mm-hmm.
where water isn't necessarily kept out, and you can get leaks and some molding on the inside and outside of the convertible if not properly maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the marketing plan, I have prepared the potential profitability for you.
Okay.
So in terms of the total cost, it is $225,515. That's for all three with tax included. And then I've divided this by your average daily rental cost, which varies between $275 to $500.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the average, maybe a little bit below or right on the mark for the average, is right where you want to be pricing this vehicle for rentals. And so this breakdown requires 627 rentals to have all three vehicles paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And originally, when I did the numbers, I thought to myself, 627 rentals, that's quite a few years to pay this off. And then realizing that it's the combined of the three vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So you only need 209 rentals per vehicle to pay off the total purchase capital.
Mm-hmm.
And this can theoretically be done in a year or less, because they're daily rentals and can be and they can be day to day based on how the market's doing. Obviously, you're not going to be getting as many rentals during the winter as you would during the summer, but I think that 209 is a reasonable number to be able to recoup your money in a rather quick fashion.
The only thing you're not considering is that's $209 to recoup the cost of the vehicle, not the cost that I have to put in to rent the vehicle, including labor and insurance and things like that. So it's $209 before I paid for the vehicle, but I'm not actually profiting on it for quite some time.
Right. But when you do begin to profit, that's where the numbers come in. Because once they've been paid off, regardless of your regardless of the amount that you have to pay for labor and insurance and whatnot, once the vehicles have been paid off, they have a yearly potential to make over $300,000 a year. And that is the maximum potential for them, which is an awful lot of capital. In terms of your objection, I would like to say that most of these costs you're already incurring because you have so many other vehicles on the lot. I feel like your insurance is probably under a group rate. It would be probably pretty low. Your labor, mechanics are already being paid. So it's just a small addition on top. And in my opinion, it's not a small price to pay for the potential that it has for you. Now, do you have any concerns with that?
No, I understand where you're coming from there.
Right.
It does make sense that I can kind of bundle it in with the other maintenance that I do on all the other vehicles.
And we do have M3 specialists that you can call in at an additional mechanical rate, perhaps maybe once a year, just to full follow through, make sure that the vehicle's running up to spec, running 100%, so your customers are getting the full potential out of the vehicle. So in terms of that, would you like to get all three, or do you maybe have a favorite?
I have a personal favorite because I'm always partial to convertibles.
Right.
I'm not so sure on the sedan though.
Right.
The majority of our customers are not planning on putting a whole bunch of people in the car, or finding 4 doors to be a real necessity. As
I do understand
most
that.
of them we have are 2-door cars.
In terms of the track day, you're very spot on, 100%. You want maybe 1, 2 people at the most in the vehicle. But when we look at luxury vehicle rentals, that's where the 4-door comes in handy, because many of the other luxury vehicle rentals that you offer are only 2 doors. You can only get 2 people in there. And you know, in terms of the potential to be able to put people in the vehicle based on the cost, people may be pretty happy that they can go out and, you know, now you offer a 4-door so that they can go to a wedding or a special event or what have you with their wife and their friend, their 2 friends, without having, you know, to cram them in the back, or the little, you know, the little jump seat in the back of the Porsche 911. That's not, there's not really any place to sit there.
Okay.
So in terms of that, I have, sorry, give me 1 second. Right, I wanted to comment lastly on the top speed, just to give you a little number there. In terms of, you can get the vehicle up to 250 kilometers an hour, which, you know, is a big selling point for those kinds of people who like to get in the vehicles.
Of course, not on a city
quickly.
street, of course.
The track. That's why we have the track day, right? Because it's a big seller for them.
Absolutely.
Because the top speed and horsepower are the 2 major things that people look at when they're going to rent or track a car, especially track a vehicle. And the motorsports design has prepared the vehicle. The whole history of the BMW M line is based on the motorsports, the ability to track, the ability to have the vehicle run at 100% efficiency. You know, you got a comparably small investment based on the potential for income you have here. You know, you got the yearly potential of over $300,000. You know, this vehicle will attract, you know, many Bimmer forums people and car enthusiasts who, you know, love the M3. It's got a lower rental cost than many of your other vehicles, so, you know, bring in maybe a market who can't quite afford that that level of Ferrari, Lamborghini, but still want to get the bang for their buck. You know, 3 different body styles to appeal to a wider audience. What do you think?
Everything sounds good.
Would you like to place an order, Mr. Hayes?
I don't know. It's a lot of money all at once.
Right. Well, I can provide you with a few different options here. So you can purchase the 3, which I understand it is a large amount of capital to be investing, but it's very little in compared to the other capital that you've already invested in vehicles that aren't necessarily bringing in those lower end consumers who have never even had an opportunity to do this because they can't afford it. And in terms of your concerns in terms of getting rid of lots of capital, you can decide on just one of the options. You can purchase just one of them if you'd like.
I understand that. You made an excellent point before about the variety of the 3 models, so definitely has my interest, and I'd hate to leave one out and leave a potential target market out of my reach.
Exactly.
What I'd like to propose is that would we be able to work out a deal? I could buy all 3, but not all at once. Instead of getting all 3 at once, could we stagger it over time?
Clever, and still get your 7.5% discount.
Now you're catching on.
I see. Yeah, I believe we could stagger about 6 to 8 months.
And I'd be happy to sign a contract guaranteeing that we will buy them, but instead of having the large capital outlay all at once for all 3 cars, could we stagger it potentially over a year and spread them out for a few months?
That can definitely be worked out.
If we can do that, and we have a deal.
All right. Thank you very much for your business.
Thank you. Have a good day. Appreciate it. Perfect. Okay, I will set you up with my assistant. She's got all the paperwork, and
Wonderful.
We'll take
You
it
have
from
my
there.
contract. You've got my number. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, just want to call me, tell me how great the car is, please feel free to do so.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.